Today I'm going to introduce a Kung Fu stance that is great for lower body mobility. This stance is called the Pubu. In English, this is usually translated to the drop stance. So I'm going to go into how to do the drop stance correctly, how you can build up, and give you some exercises that you can use to develop this position. So the Pubu is a single leg squat variation. So you're going to be using this unilaterally on one side and then the other. The Pubu starts in a wider stance. Then you squat down towards one leg is bent, the other leg is straight. People might think that a Pubu and a Cossack squat are the same, but to me there is one difference, and that is in the straight leg's foot. The Pubu looks something like this, and in the Cossack squat, it looks something like this. So the difference lies in that straight leg's foot. In the Pubu, we put the bottom of the foot on the ground, and in the Cossack, the feet can lift up here. This is the main difference. And you might think that this is just a small difference, and while it is a small detail, there is a very big difference in what you're using and the ability to hold the stance and the ability to ground in the position. Both are great to develop, but we're just going to talk about the Pubu with this foot planted down. So to begin, we're going to develop this stance in a static way. We're going to need a wall or something that is stable that you can push a foot into and it won't move. We're going to put one leg against the wall. And the detail here is we want the entire edge, outside edge of the foot, to be pressed into the wall. The entire time you're going to be pressing in. A common mistake is to allow this to turn, so the outside edge comes off. Then to start, you can start with about double shoulder width apart distance. So if this is about shoulder width, I'll go about double, and this is where I can start. Now, this is not going to be the exact distance. You might have to go a little bit further, or you might have to go a little bit more narrow. You need to experiment to see where can you get the deepest, but also maintain this position of pushing into the wall, the feet not coming up. So you need to play around with this. This leg needs to be facing forward. It does not turn this way, but the outside leg, the one that we're going to squat towards, has a little bit of freedom here. So some people might feel comfortable with this foot also facing forward, but some people may need to turn the feet out a little bit. I need to turn the feet out a little bit. I can still do the Pubu here without much of a problem, but I feel much more stable and I'm able to keep an upright spine a little bit easier when I just angle the toes out just slightly here. Your natural resting squat with the heels down, whatever feels the most comfortable is probably going to feel comfortable in the Pubu. So if you notice, this is my most comfortable position with the feet slightly slanted outwards. I can still squat like this. I can still squat even like this, but this is the most comfortable. And it turns out that that is also the most comfortable in my Pubu. So this one pushed against the wall, about double shoulder width apart. You can play with the rotation of the foot depending on what you feel is most comfortable. The hands are going to come out just to help us with balance. There's not going to be any artisticness here. And what we're going to do is we're going to squat towards this outside leg, trying to keep our torso as upright as possible. So I'm going to squat down, trying to keep this torso upright. This leg remains straight and I'm pushing it against the wall. And I hit my deepest depth. And from here, I can hold statically from 10 to 30 seconds. Trying to keep a nice upright position. Hands are out to counterbalance. I'm pushing that one against the wall. This leg is straight. And after the 10 to 30 seconds, I can stand up and then repeat on the other side. So from the back, this leg pushes in, about double shoulder width apart. Align your foot however you need to. Experiment a lot. Then from here, I come down nice and slow, trying to keep my back as straight as possible, pushing that into the wall. And I hold this position here, 10 to 30 seconds, facing forward. Leg is straight. Foot is being pressed into the wall actively. And I stand back up. Now, because this is a unilateral skill, you're going to be doing one leg at a time. And my recommendation is to always start with your weaker leg or your less mobile leg or whichever one is worse. So for example, let's say squatting towards my left, I'm a little bit immobile. Maybe I have some knee pain, or maybe I just can't get as deep here. What I'm going to do is on this first side, this weaker side, I'm going to go as deep as I can. Maybe that's right here. Okay, so I'm not touching the butt to the heel. The hamstring and the calf are making contact, but I'm not able to get as low. I'll hold for the normal amount of time. After the hold, I'll come up. And now on the better side, even though the better side can get deeper, I'm purposely not going to go that deep, and I'm going to match it to the weaker side. So I come down. Okay, the weaker side was about here. Here's where I'm going to stay, and come back up. Now, why do I do this? I don't want to create such a big difference between both sides. So I'm going to purposely hold back the stronger side and allow the weaker side to come a little bit more equally, and then they will progress a little bit more evenly together. They will never be equal. You will always have a better side and a worse side, but the distance between the two will not be so big. Now, I want to say that my Pubu is not perfect, okay? When we trained in Wudang, the master looked at my Pubu and he said, ah. And then he looked at Max's Pubu, who is the camera woman here, and he said, not bad. And if you know, in China, not bad is a pretty good compliment for what you have. So I'm just showing you a way that you can build up. And my Pubu has come a long way, but it is far from perfect. But I think that developing this to 20, 30 seconds in that deep position can be a very positive thing for your lower body and learning to get comfortable in that deep position. After developing the static Pubu position, I recommend moving into more dynamic work. I have recently started channel memberships on this channel, and if you join at a certain level, you'll have access to exclusive videos. One of those videos being how to develop the dynamic Pubu. So if you want to support this channel and see how to take this Pubu to the next level, as well as many other videos on a variety of different topics, you can join the channel memberships and support me there. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you would like to see more Kung Fu stances that can be used to develop lower body mobility and strength, please let me know in the comments down below. And that's the session.